Hey, everybody, it's Tony Verhoeven, and we're talking about the principles of what makes online communities successful. I'm here with Derek Rector. Derek, we're talking today about the topic of all hands on deck. We've talked about a
Yep.
community manager, right? That, typically at association, they're in charge. Here, go run the community, make it profitable, make it successful, get people in here going while we do the rest of the association's mission. And we're saying no, right? What do
Nope.
we mean by that? What does all hands on deck mean?
Yeah, it just basically means that, you know, you've got to have the entire team involved in operating that community. It's a kind of a if we were to compare something, right? So community has to reflect what works in the real world. We don't do things differently digitally. We have to do things the way that we do them without any technology at all. When we organize a big association conference, how many people are involved in
A lot.
in that conference?
A
A
lot. Yeah,
lot,
for
right?
sure.
Everyone, like when we've talked about it, I used to say you got to have, the executive, you've got to have senior managers, you've got to have everybody, even junior staff are there, and they're not just there to fulfill their respective roles. They are all hosts, right? They
Right.
are all working together, and part of what they're doing is they're cultivating that community in that environment, in that conference center. You pointed out, though, that it goes beyond just the association staff,
Yeah.
right? In your
Yeah.
experience as an association executive,
It's don't
there's
forget the
more,
volunteers, right? We're here for the
right?
volunteers. We're here for the board. We're here for the subject matter in the industry. So it's not just the staff. So think about, if your board chair and your volunteers and your committee leaders and your subject matter experts and your past presidents and really, the people that you're here for, if they're not involved, well, what are we doing, right? Those people
Right.
have to be involved to help drive it. So I think you said one time where it really, like, you need, a good percentage, call it 25, 50, 100 people really. And
Yeah.
no, we're not saying everybody's got to put 40 hours a week into there, but I think you have to tap into a network, right?
Right. Well, let's be realistic about it. Again, if you're organizing the conference, you've got all those people involved. We'll call them the stars, the people who are known, right, in the
Yeah.
industry. They are all given jobs, typically official and unofficial, but they are part of the planning process. Yet, you know, when that event ends and the community that's supposed to carry that event forward for the rest of the year until the next time that happens, think of it like the ring that goes all the way around.
Yep.
There's like one person who is the community manager. We're not saying you shouldn't have a community manager. You got to have a community manager. We all agree with that. It's just that the idea of abandoning the community manager, having them do this alone, when you would never do that in the actual conference. The conference is the community manifested, right? Face to face. It's not just that you want them to participate. They have to have jobs. They are hosts. They are part of
Right.
operating and running that community. It's more than just, hey, come in and be a part of this. They're that group of 100 people or 50 people, it depends on the association. They have jobs to do, and the community manager has to quarterback it, right?
I really want to give some strategies for a community manager, that quarterback, that person who is coordinating everything. What are some of the things that those community managers can do to foster success in the community, especially in that
Right.
first 3 months or, 6 months or a
Yeah,
year?
because it's different at the beginning and then later on, right? At the beginning, it feels a bit contrived because you got to try to make it happen, right? The people that are going to answer their questions and guide them, they're not already there. You're going to have to reach out and pull the person in who can answer the question. And you have to do it pretty quickly so that that person has a positive experience and they come back, right? To try to get it humming, to try to get it going. You've got to do a lot of extra work that you don't necessarily have to do later on to just foster that sense of community, to
You're
get
right.
people to recommend it, to get people to come in at the right time. So I think it's totally fine. I mean, we've talked about using tools like HubSpot or other CRMs to keep track of those 100 or 200 people that you need to give jobs to. At least they need to know that be ready. I'm going to reach out to you and pull you in when somebody has a question and I think it's in your wheelhouse, right?
Right. You can't wing it. You need a playbook. You need a plan, and you need to kind of put your arms around all of those influencers, all of those important people. Yep. Again, not just staff, but also some of your volunteers as well. Let me give you a quick example of what you might do. So somebody's in your community, a stranger, right? Somebody who is not known to you. They post a question if they're allowed. There are obviously different types of communities. Some are public, some are members only. But in a couple of the ones that I've run, you can create an account and have some sort of access to, the outer ring, right? And so you ask a question, and then, maybe, in those first couple months, not everybody is involved, right? We're talking about this putt,
nobody's
like
involved.
Getting the engine. Nobody's there. So we're getting this engine running.
Empty.
Yeah. So nobody's seeing this. Well, what do you do? So as a community manager, as the quarterback, right? You call a play. You say, hey, let's grab this link to this topic, and I'm going to put it into our members only side. Maybe you've got a members only community, or you email it to your board chair or one of your other VIP members, right. And you say, hey, can you answer this? And that's where it starts, right? That person answers it, and then maybe another person sees it and piles on. And now you've got a vibrant discussion thread, right? And that's just one instance.
Early on, every single answer, every single comment is probably the result of the community manager pulling someone in, or the community manager going to somebody else in the organization. It could be an executive, it could be the CEO. Here's this question. I don't even know who to take this to, because I don't know everybody in the industry. I haven't been in the industry for 35 years, and I don't know everybody, right? It's that support, the empowerment to actually reach out and really work that network that is, associations are the original social networks.
Yeah.
Even before technology, they were the original social networks. Some people in the association are more connected, know more people, have more knowledge, more experience than others, right? And that community manager has to have access to all of them, even the most senior people in the organization, and get help. And it's got to be timely. It can't be like a month later, because the person trying to solve a problem that comes in here is trying to solve it immediately. Time is money at work. It's not like you have the luxury of waiting, till next month. If you can't get the answer quickly, you're going to go somewhere else. And the community does not work.
We talked in a previous video, every party needs a host. Every community needs community managers, plural. And those people that are the community managers are who we just said, right? It's volunteers. It's your upper management. It's everybody in the staff. Some staff have one staff of one, maybe a staff of 200, right? Doesn't matter. You got to get the width and breadth involved.
I would like to just simply add, 80-20 rule, right? The information, I can go to school and I get 80% of what I need. That's the information. The other 20%, that's the knowledge that comes from experience. And does the community manager have the most experience and the most knowledge in the organization? And if I can't think of a single association where, if you give some thought to that question, you don't come back around and go, oh, I see why Tony and Derek are talking about this. Like, this is why we need to give that person access to the whole organization and the inner circle and the outer circle, and give them the tools to keep track of it, to organize it, and pull everybody in.
Yeah.
That's all hands on deck.
Even if they don't know everything, and they're not going to, you want to give them access to the people so that they can pull people in and network and make those connections, just like you would do on site.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Derek. That was a great discussion. All hands on deck.
All hands on deck.